Hello and welcome to MOOCVille. The MOOCVille blog is a video blog in which I will be tracking the changing news about the world of MOOCs and keeping you up to date with periodic commentary as important developments occur. Today I want to talk about two important developments that have taken place in May and June of 2013. The first one is the internationalization or globalization of the MOOC phenomenon. When we think about MOOCs, we generally think about the big American MOOCs, edX, Coursera, and Udacity. Some people even say that the MOOCs are an attempt by American corporations to dominate the world of education by taking over the education space all over the world, and indeed the big MOOC courses have had students from hundreds of nations, just about every nation in the world. However, the MOOC phenomenon is spreading like wildfire, and it is now a completely global development. And let's take a quick look at some global developments here. The first thing we'd like to look at is Latin America's first MOOC. This is the MOOC is Curl Verdusa. It is in Brazil, and it is sponsored by São Paulo University. And this has launched in mid-June, to provide MOOC courses in Spanish and Portuguese for the students all over the Latin world. These courses will be developed by many universities and collected by São Paulo University and its MOOC platform. Now, Europe is not far behind. The European MOOC world is developing rapidly. Germany is the leader in the MOOC world in Europe, but other nations are developing their own MOOC platforms with courses in their languages. German MOOC platform has been sponsored by the Stifterbund für die Deutsche Wissenschaft, and this is the association or university association for German science. It has produced a MOOC platform called iVersity, and it has launched many MOOCs, and they're very, very popular throughout Germany. And iVersity has recently announced a competition so that people can create courses or create course proposals and get funded to create courses in the MOOC format for iVersity. These will go all over the German-speaking world. Now, edX has partnered with universities throughout Asia. We can see this, if I can get this going here. The University of Hong Kong, Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, Kyoto University, Peking University, Seoul National University, Tsinghua, the University of Queensland in Australia, and many other major Asian and Australasian universities. So that through edX, the Asian universities have made an inroad into the MOOC platforms that are run by U.S. organizations. Here we have a story about Australian MOOCs. Australian MOOCs have become very popular, and among other universities that are active in MOOC development, Deakin University is one leader, and in fact they have developed their own MOOC platform because Deakin has always been an Australian leader in the online space. We have a new Canadian MOOC platform, Wide World Ed, and many Canadian universities that have not yet tied together with the American MOOC producers like Coursera and edX and Udacity are now going to join together to create their own MOOCs. Now, England also has a large MOOC platform, and it's interesting because in England, the major universities, Oxford and Cambridge, have not joined that, and the MOOCs are dominated by the red brick universities. This is going to be something of a problem for that platform because it will lack the prestige that the MOOC developments all over the rest of the world currently enjoy. Japan's MOOC platform, School, has just landed a large grant to broaden its service, and it's targeting 1 million Japanese users. Unlike some of the other MOOC platforms, the Japanese MOOC platform is going to be restricted to the Japanese language and will aim solely at a Japanese national audience. However, there are Japanese worldwide, and they will now have MOOCs available in Japanese so that they can continue their online education. So the bottom line of this story is MOOCs are no longer primarily an American phenomenon. They are spreading all over the world, and within a year, I would say, all of the world's most dominant languages and the most dominant nations in the world will be active participants and competitors in the MOOC world. So the MOOCs are no longer really to be associated with the United States. So that's our first story, the globalization of MOOCs. Now, here is a second story that I think is equally important. And this story tells us that edX is now partnered with the International Monetary Fund to bring financial courses to the masses. This story is another story from June. This is from June 22nd. Now, what is the importance of this story? The IMF and many other non-governmental international organizations have very extensive courseware for their members. The IMF produces 100 or more training courses for international bankers that are used by the member nations who participate in the IMF. But the IMF is not alone here. Many important non-governmental organizations produce their own training courseware. These courses typically do not carry credit, but they are very valuable, high-level courses at a high graduate level for the already well-educated people who work in these member organizations. Up till now, universities have had a kind of monopoly on offering credit for higher education and credit toward degrees, but other organizations offer courses of the same level of academic quality. What is the important takeaway from this development is that the boundary between the world of non-governmental organizations and universities will be blurred, because aggregators will now come into this space and will package MOOC courses carrying certificates, and they will eventually be able to make these university degree equivalents, meaning that the universities will lose their monopoly on producing courseware for credit. An employer who sees a portfolio of 40 MOOC certificate courses from these high-level universities with certificates of completion is going to be far more impressed than one from a student with a degree from a third-rate university anywhere in the world. So what's coming is that higher education will now have to transform itself to accommodate the competition from MOOCs. And that's it for MOOCVille today. I'll be back soon with a further commentary on these developments.